the story of Mr. Peter Obi, Joseph Enemona Ame, Esquire, somebody that I'm very close to, somebody who is a man of wit and grit. Is somebody who, you know, like they say, at a time and in a world where you can count on people, where our values have become but anything to write home about, we still have people who still believe in those, what I call spiritual and natural values, those things that don't go away, those things that don't change, regardless of seasons, regardless of time, regardless of people. Nations and leaders and people come and people go, but natural and spiritual values, they never change. Integrity will always be integrity. Honesty will always be honesty. Love will always be love. Power and passion and dedication, they'll always be what they are. In terms of its implementation, they can change depending on the era that you are giving birth to. If you are born in the time of Adam and Eve, the way you would implement these values will be different as to if you're born in our generation. But the essence of what they are, they never change. They always remain the same. And that's how I see the author of this book, which is also a replica and a reflection of who our leader is, Mr. Peter Obi, a man whom I believe and I think that I've had the most rare privilege to have worked with. I mean, I say this thing not lightly, but I can tell you that in the last 2 years, I've been given the rare privilege to have traveled with him all over the world. And it's something that will always remain with me for the rest of my life. Of course, you know that my book will have to come too, because there are areas, when I think about flying from Abuja to London, from London to Houston, from Houston to Phoenix, from Phoenix to California, and back to Texas, and back to London, and back to Abuja, all within just 5 days. That's how strong mentally and physically Mr. Peter Obi is. I never thought I was strong until I was given this rare privilege to work with him very closely. He's not a man that, I never had his number even through the elections in 2022, 2023. It was after the protest that I led for over 23 days, being in DSS, going through all kinds of things, my properties being seized. Even though I was the official MC of the Obidadi campaign organization, I never had that intimate contact with him. I never knew that he took notice of everyone and everybody and the nuances through the madness of the movements from Sokoto to Zamfara to Abuja to Lagos to Ibadan to all kinds of places, to the bushes in Mubi to Mopa to all the places we went to. Mr. Peter Obi is somebody who is a man of detail. The day he was talking to me about myself, and incidentally, Aisha Yusufu was there in Lagos, I started crying because, number one, I didn't do any of the things I was doing because I wasn't doing it to Mr. Peter Obi or for Mr. Do you understand what I mean? I was doing it for the nation called Nigeria. Yes, he was the presidential candidate. Yes, he's a mentor, a father, and a leader. But I wasn't doing it. He could be the beneficiary of it, but I was doing whatever I was doing for the nation. So unlike many people, I was never entitled. I've met thousands of people across the world and nation who felt that, oh, Mr. Peter Obi hasn't gotten the attention. The day he called me on the phone, I chuckled because he said, Ogamo, I still remember, like yesterday, 2 years ago exactly, told me how he watched through the proceedings of the campaigns and said every time I lifted the microphone that there was an ambience and the atmosphere changed. He recounted how he knew that I wasn't like in the inner caucus of the campaign, but I spent my money going from state to state. When he started talking about those details, it got me in tears. That's Mr. Peter Obi, a man who understands global finance. Of course, a wealthy man, but one who understands, who has respect for money. A concrete trader. I haven't met anybody who understands money and finance and the economy like Mr. Peter Obi. A trader to the core. one whom you will mistake him because of his humility. I can remember home and abroad and in many places where, a few weeks ago we had a lecture in London Business School, and I remember when I was talking with the organizers, and I said, sir, they want us there. He said, no, what is the time written on that, on the IV? I say it's 11 o'clock. But the organizers are telling me we need to be here. No, at this particular time. He said, no, we're going to be there at the stipulated time that is written on the IV. And of course, he was there, sitting there. He comes to a meeting late, whether by flight or by anything, he sits right behind. And he insists to sit right behind. The qualities that we talk about has enshrined the stories that I hear. What makes him a trailblazer are these details of integrity, of honesty. They are this foundation, the fulcrum of humanity. They are the basis of things, so difficult, but yet he keeps to it regardless of who is watching. That's what makes him a trailblazer. And I can recount some of the things that, takes me aback. Like I said, I've been given a rare privilege to have traveled with him from Qatar to Indonesia to 17 states in America. Everywhere I've been with him, and for most places alone. So I know the man. I can speak of him when it comes to loving a nation or a people like a father who truly commits to the innate desire of nation building. Yes, he does. What it has to do with sitting beside him with presidents of nation, from President Jonathan to IBB, or to President Paul Kagame, or to the former president of Indonesia, and to the leaders in Qatar. The privileges have been given to sit side by side, talking to ministers and ambassadors in Indonesia, just because of what he brings to the table, understanding of the status quo, the nuances of the present day Nigeria. What it means, the energy that we all, he exemplifies and is sitting on the niche. He understands what you are going through. He understands what the elite, for lack of a better description, conspiracy is about, and yet he stays above the water. He's not carried away at every point in time. This is the man, Mr. Peter Obi. The story of a trader to a trailblazer. One whom have changed the electioneering process of Nigeria. One who has brought what we call the ancient landmark back into the political scenery of our country. One whom have exemplified what we know as stories of founding fathers of nation. The man, Mr. Peter Obi, a trader. One who has a journey that has changed our livelihood, like written here, from the bustling market of Onitsha to the national stage. This is a biography, a chronicle of the life of Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, a man whose integrity, simplicity, and vision continues to inspire the generation before, the generation now, and yes, of course, the generation to come.